Very happy to have with me Father Zollner. We are almost finishing the conference today, and so I would like to ask you, what was the most important thing or topic, or what you are taking from this conference for yourself? Like, what touched you?
Yeah, for me, every time we have this type of conference every year, the most important thing is to see how easy it is for people who work in the same field to connect, to relate to each other, and how fast an international community, in this case 200 participants from more than 45 countries, come together and find a common language, even if English is not the mother tongue for most of us. But there is a common understanding, there is much common ground, and that creates such an energy and a hope that is really, really, for me, energizing, and it gives me much perspective and hope for the future.
And what do you see as the most challenging thing for the future of the safeguarding?
I think the most challenging thing is something that safeguarders very often don't have in their own hands. That is the situation of the church as a whole, and how we deal with the allegations and the cases of abuse that happened in the past. As long as we don't get this right, and as long as we don't really attend to victims' needs, as long as we fail to really address the needs and the expectations of victims, the work of safeguarding will always be jeopardized. It will always be under the allegation of you are just window dressing and you don't really care for those who have been wounded. So we really need to get it right also in the church when it comes to dealing with the allegations, and first and foremost really understanding what victims want, what they need, and what we should give them.
For me, at least, it's now in these days I'm thinking a lot about the abuse of the adult, and also the topic like spiritual abuse. Do you have any comment for that?
Yeah, we have certainly discovered that field over the last 4 or 5 years. It has come up more or less at the same time as we were talking about the systemic issues, also the question of persons at risk or vulnerable persons, adult persons who have been subject to abuse of in a spiritual direction, or in religious communities, or in any type of working relationship also with clergy or religious. So that is relatively new in the discussion, and in research I haven't seen a lot in terms of empirical data. And I think there is also a need to clarify what is really meant by spiritual abuse, because yes, you can show very easily examples of spiritual abuse, but where does abuse start, and where does, for example, obedience start, and how do you distinguish the one from the other? That for conceptual clarification, I think there is still something that is open. At least it is not very clear to me how we deal with this. However, it is clear that there is spiritual abuse, there is abuse of conscience, there is abuse of power within the church. How we find out what is a really sound and healthy spirituality of power that allows also for the understanding of what is a good exercise of power, not only what is the bad exercise of power. That is one of the challenges for the time being, and I think for many projects and many research questions.
Thank you very much, and see you next year, I hope.
Hopefully, yes. Welcome back next year.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.